Dreamforge Studios, in association with 3AM Productions, presents The Last Genesis. Part 2, The Silent Heart. Chapter 10, Whispers of Betrayal. The aftermath of the test was a strange, unsettling quiet. Maya had won, but it was a hollow victory. She was no longer an anomaly to be dismissed, but a power to be reckoned with, and that new status felt more dangerous than the old one. Malachor and his faction were conspicuously silent, their cold stares replaced by an unnerving avoidance. They would turn and glide away when she approached, their thoughts shielded and unreadable. Lyran began to train her. They met daily in the quiet solitude of the garden where she had been challenged. He taught her not to command the power but to guide it, to feel the flow of energy from her bond with Nova and coax it into a shield or a gentle pulse of kinetic force. "The power is not yours," Lyran's voice would echo in her mind as she struggled to form a stable shield of light. "It belongs to the Genesis. You are its lens. The lens does not create the light. It only focuses it. Your emotions, your fear, your anger, your love are the aperture. They determine how much light passes through. Malachor believes your human feelings make you a flawed lens. You must prove him wrong." The training was grueling. More than once, her frustration caused the energy to flare wildly, scorching the crystalline plants around them. But with each small success, she felt the bond with Nova deepen, changing from a chaotic torrent into a steady, flowing river. It was during a late evening session, nearly a month after her arrival on Cythra, that the true nature of her struggle was revealed. Lyran had dismissed her for the cycle, and she was walking back to her chamber, Nova asleep in a sling she had fashioned from a soft woven cloth. She took a different route, a spiraling, seldom-used corridor that wound around the outer edge of the spire. As she passed a darkened alcove, she felt a flicker of something cold and familiar. The sharp, focused thought of Malachor. It was quickly shielded, but not before she had caught a fragment of it. The outer markers are disabled. The timing must be precise. Maya froze, her heart hammering. She pressed herself into the shadows, her breath held tight in her chest. Peering into the alcove, she saw two figures huddled over a small flickering holoprojector. Malachor and one of his closest followers. Their faces were grim, illuminated by the ghostly light of the projection. "Are you certain the Guardian will not sense it?" the follower asked, his mental voice laced with anxiety. "The human is distracted by her parlor tricks, with Lyran." Malachor's thought was sharp with contempt. "She feels the river of the bond, but she is deaf to the whispers in the current. She will not know until it is too late." The follower hesitated. "This is a grave risk. We are inviting the very thing we sought to escape, the Void Swarm." "We are not inviting them," Malachor corrected, his voice dangerously low. "We are negotiating. They hunt for concentrations of this energy. We will give them what they seek, the Genesis, and in return they will pass over Cythra, leaving us in peace. It is a necessary sacrifice to ensure the survival of our race." Maya felt the blood drain from her face, her stomach twisted into a knot of ice. This wasn't about exiling her. This wasn't about isolating Nova. This was treason. Malachor, in his absolute terrified conviction, was planning to hand a child, her child, over to the monstrous, all-consuming enemy she had seen in the Hall of Echoes. He would sacrifice Nova to save himself. "The transfer must be made before the bond fully matures," Malachor continued, oblivious to his eavesdropper. "Once the human's consciousness is fully integrated with the vessel's power, separating them will be impossible. We move during the next cycle, when Lyran is in deep meditation. The outer shields will be down for only a moment. It is all the time their fleet will need." Maya backed away from the alcove, her movements silent, her mind screaming. She fled down the corridor, her heart pounding a frantic, terrified rhythm. She burst into her chamber, the door dissolving and reforming behind her. She slid to the floor, her back against the wall, trembling uncontrollably. She looked down at Nova, who stared at her distress, blinking its large, innocent eyes, up at her. Malachor wasn't just a political rival with a different ideology. He was a traitor, willing to sacrifice the last hope of his people out of fear. The sanctuary was a lie. The safety was an illusion. And the enemy wasn't at the gates. He was already inside. Thank you for listening to my short story, The Last Genesis. The story continues. Please like and subscribe to get notified when new episodes are available, and scan the QR code to join our newsletter and get exclusive content.